I know. I know. We're in cinematic mode, which is I don't usually do that. It's actually mostly because I want to blur the background for the privacy of my friend's home that I am in. I'm sweating. I'm in New York right now. I forgot I put makeup on this morning. Oops. I'm in New York right now and it's thunder and lightning outside and also 80 degrees and super, super humid. And I'm basically just sweating buckets sitting here with my cold coffee that I should probably stop drinking because it's too late in the afternoon. But it's really very delicious. So I started Justin Schuman's ShowUp90 challenge. And obviously, I'm not, well, obviously, I'm not doing the 90 days of showing up on YouTube. I'm doing it on TikTok. But I also want it to feed into the other content that I'm making because that's literally the whole point. So I'm on day 5, and the thing that I've learned so far about the Show Up 90 challenge and just about myself and creating content and showing up and speaking to a camera is this program is allowing me to just drop everything about needing to perform because the entire first module is just showing up as yourself. It's like strip away any strategy, strip away any aesthetics, you know, feeling like you should edit, feeling like you should make it look good. Like it's just about showing up and authentically speaking to camera, which is something that I feel like I don't have the hardest time with because I've been practicing and I have been posting so much, but something about this program just like it allowed me to just drop everything else. Not worry about hooks, not worry about viewing rating. Like my since I started Show Up 90, it's been 5 days. My views have dropped dramatically because I'm not trying to grab them. I'm trying to check in with my body and see how it feels when I am being seen on camera, when I am speaking my voice. I'm more tuned in to the body part of it, to the somatic things that are happening when I'm showing up, what's happening in my brain, what's coming out of my mouth, and how it feels when it comes out of my mouth. Then I am focused on making good content, right? And I think the reason that I feel like I can relax so much about it is because I have been following this man for so long. I really love his voice. Like, I love the way he speaks to his audience. And I trust that he knows how to build a structure that's going to get me where I need to be. And so I get to take myself out of looking at the grand scheme of things and put myself squarely exactly where I'm at and just follow his framework to get where I know I want to be and where I know I can be. Like, I know I can be good at this. I'm an actor and a Gemini. Yapping online is like literally what I'm made for, and writing. Like it's in my fucking chart everywhere. So it's really nice to be in a structure that allows me to release like everything around trying to control the outcome and just be present here and trust that I don't have to think about when I'm going to add strategy back in. I don't have to think about when I'm going to like learn how to do good hooks and learn how to speak about myself and what I'm doing and why I'm here and what my why is and how I can show up on camera with people and be like, I'm Julia, I'm doing this, I'm blah blah blah. Like, if you watch him, he has his whole little elevator spiel so good, like so succinct and so deeply baked into his bones that he can start a video saying the most random thing and then he can be like, by the way, if you don't know me, I'm Justin Schuman. I put the human in the whatever, I don't remember it, but like I remember it enough to be like, oh, I know Justin Schuman, he puts the human back into making content. Like, I know that because he knows his thing so solidly, and I know that that's literally what this framework is, and so I trust that he's going to get me there, and so I can release my control and completely surrender to the process, which I think is such a cool concept. Like, just it feels so good. I've also been in this mode of surrender recently, and I feel like I always am like trying to be in a mode of surrender, but it comes and goes, right? It's totally a flow. And I have been seeking situations in which I can let go and I can surrender and I can just listen and follow and trust that I will be guided to the right place. I had this experience at Ecstatic Dance the other day that I got to dance with someone, and I haven't done that in a while. And if you know ecstatic dance, you know that sometimes that shit can be really deep. Like sometimes it can be kind of weird. Like if you're on the outside and you see two people dancing together and you're like, are they about to have sex? I don't know. Maybe, but most likely not. There's something super sensual about it, about when you do find a partner that you feel comfortable with and you feel like dancing and you can do that kind of contact improv stuff. And I had danced with people before, back when I used to dance in Santa Barbara in my hometown. The ecstatic dance community there is incredible. It low key ruined me for other communities just because it was so good. But then I was in London and I went to Ecstatic Dance UK in like East London area at the baths, the Hackney Baths or whatever they're called. And it was like the first time that I had that same feeling like I got at Ecstatic Dance in Santa Barbara. Just that community vibe, that like really intentional, very generous spaces, where I just felt like I could really let go. And I ended up dancing with this man who I'd never met, and I didn't even know his name until like an hour after our dance because he emailed me something. I didn't even know his name. Um, and I didn't necessarily like intend to dance with him. It just kind of happened. We ended up in a group dancing together. There was this big beautiful chain of people who were weaving through, and I got swept up in it and he got swept up in it, and we ended up dancing together. And then once the group broke up, we all broke into little fractions and started dancing with each other, and him and I found each other. And at first, it's just light touching, feeling the hands moving, improv stuff. And I've been, I'm going to get vulnerable. I have been like at the helm and in the control of my life for so long. I am ambitious. I work really hard. I'm assertive in my life. I take the steps that some people would never take in their lives because it's too scary or it's too hard. And I do that. I do that all the time. And there's a part of me that just deeply wants somebody else to take control sometimes and let me just set it down and let me just exist and be. And I don't have a partner in my life. I actually don't have anybody to hold me. Not like that. I have friends and family whom I love very, very much that I can get that feeling from. But it's not quite the same as having a partner or a lover or even just a friend who has that kind of, I guess the right word I'm looking for is masculine energy, to hold the container in which my feminine energy can just let go. And when I started dancing with this person, it felt like a gift from the universe. And I asked myself as I'm dancing, can I just surrender? Can I just let him lead the way? And I started doing that. I stopped pushing my own dancing agenda and I just tuned into what his movements were asking of me. We both had our eyes closed 95% of the time, by the way. Like, it's all about the feeling. And I felt comfortable enough and safe enough, like my nervous system and my energetic body felt comfortable and safe enough to dance with this man who I didn't know and had just met. But my energy tends to know what's up. My nervous system tends to know what's up most of the time. Sometimes she freaks out, but this time I felt very safe. And so I asked myself, can I just surrender? And I had to ask myself that over and over again because I would realize in our movement, I was starting to guide the movement. And that doesn't mean, excuse me, that doesn't mean that that's so ladylike. I know, you're welcome. You're welcome. It doesn't mean that I didn't make movements of my own. It was just that I was responding to his and allowing his to guide me and not saying no to where his movements were guiding my movements. And the long story short of it is we took two journeys together. We did two dances together, at different times in the dance. But the first one, again, it started at the extremities. It was very just the arms, legs. We did a little bit of like rolling over each other's backs and just sharing weight and stuff. And by the end of it, like we were just holding each other. And I know there's people in the world who like have partners, right? They have someone who loves them deeply like that and who will just hold them and let them soften. And that's not been my experience. I haven't had that yet. And I know it's out there and I know it will come my way. And I know that there are reasons that it hasn't come my way yet because I know there's a lot to do. I got a lot to do. And it still makes me sad because I do want that. And so I know for a lot of people this might not feel like that big of a deal, but for me to relinquish control in that way and to be vulnerable with somebody I didn't know, which arguably felt safer than doing it with somebody that I did know because the stakes were non existent and the space that we were in, the container we were in, was very protective and very safe. So even if there was a weird vibe, I would be okay. You know, I felt safe enough, really safe enough in this moment to surrender and let go. And it was, I mean, we ended the first dance in a hug, just in an embrace. And we just stayed there and we just breathed together and we swayed a little bit. And when we both felt, it was funny, like the song ended and we felt the end of that journey together. And, you know, we slowly broke apart and we just looked at each other and we were and you can't speak at ecstatic dance. It's a silent practice. But I ended up, it's just, I could tell we both were just like, whoa. And then we went on our own way and we danced on our own. And then I thought, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I like wanted more. I was like, I want more of that. It felt so good. It felt so good to move with somebody and communicate in the way we communicated, just with our bodies. And the way it felt so good to just let go and release and surrender and let go of the control that I feel I have all the time in my life and just dance and move. And then we found each other again later, and went through another journey together. And this time we went even deeper. And this time we were even physically more close, but also our movements, like our felt more intimate, if that makes any sense. And before anybody, like, if you don't know, I'm hoping if you're watching this, you get the vibe, you understand it. But if anyone out there is going, this sounds so weird, what, that sounds creepy or sexual, that's the beauty of ecstatic dance is, I mean, unless you want it to be sexual, it's not. It is sensual, very sensual, and vulnerable if you let it be. But it's just the language of bodies and of nervous systems moving together. And it's something we just don't get in our day to day because we're so disconnected from our bodies and from that kind of communication with each other. I thought about that dance for days afterwards. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Obviously, I'm still thinking about it, but the reason that this comes up in connection to the ShowUp90 is because I am feeling like I'm being offered, I've been asking for, and so now I'm being offered all of these opportunities to practice surrender, to practice flow, and not in a way that's like, because this is what I used to think it was, which is like, I trust and surrender to the flow of the universe, and then you don't do anything, and you just wait for the river to pick you up and send you off. And sometimes the universe will, because the universe is like, I need to move you from point A to point B, and you're not doing jack shit. So I'm going to send a flood in to get your ass there. And that's when you hit rock bottom. That's when your life falls apart. That's when shit happens. But if you are willing to walk your little booty to the river and step in it, and then say, universe, you know where I want to go, and I trust that you know where I need to be, and I trust you're going to get me there in the way I need to get there when I need to get there. But if you skip the getting in the river part, if you skip taking action steps every day towards what you want, if you skip going out into the world and meeting people and expanding your capacity and your like target area for luck to find you, for people to find you, for opportunities to find you, if you skip those things, then you're not stepping into surrender, you're leaning back into passivity. And you don't really get where you want to go from that. Like, if you're just on your couch all the time, I say from the couch, you know, it's going to be a lot harder for that river to pick you up and take you somewhere. This takes me into wanting to talk about discipline and devotion. Discipline versus devotion, which I don't know if I really want to get all the way into it. I just posted about this on my Substack. Interesting how subjects come in to stay. But I just want to say, for the person out there who is watching this, who might feel like, I hear you and I want to go do the things, but I don't know how to get myself there. I don't know how to motivate myself to do it. I hear you. Because I've been there. I've been there so much. And I think something is shifting for me right now where I'm no longer relying on needing to feel good and feel ready and feel excited and feel motivated in order to do the things that are going to get me to the place that I want to be, because I have spent so long doing the inner work that is causing me to shift into the version of me that just does those things. So I don't have to think about it. So I'm not second guessing. So I'm not up in my brain yelling at myself to move when I don't actually do anything. And in these past couple days, being in New York, I just got to New York. I'm going to be here for the second half of the summer while I apply for my student visa for the UK to go to my master's program in the fall. Lots going on in my world. Something feels just slightly different within me being here. I got here and I was like, I need to go to the gym. And it wasn't like I need to go to the gym. It was like, how do I get my ass into a gym today? Like on the first full day I was here. I also only have one pair of shoes because I'm traveling and those shoes are not gym shoes. So I said, okay, I need gym shoes. And I want to go to Trader Joe's because I've been 3 months out of the country and I missed it so much. So I went, okay, so open Google Maps, Marshall's, Trader Joe's, and the gym are all right next to each other. Great. I'm going to go to Marshall's. I'm going to get my new shoes. I'm going to get some hair products because I was out, and then go to Trader Joe's and then go buy a day pass for this gym. And then I'll come back and I'll make the meal that I have been craving for days. And then I'm going to have a quiet night in. And old me tried to be like, well, should you really be buying shoes right now? I mean, you shouldn't be spending money that you don't need to be spending. And then you also like, you don't have space in your suitcase to carry that. And I just like, God, that voice is exhausting. My intuition and my instincts were pretty fucking clear that this is the right step to take. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to go do it. And I did. I went to Marshall's. I found Adidas cloud foams for like $20. That was great. They're bright white. I don't know how I feel about the bright white shoes. It was a bit much, but they were on clearance. And I was like, these are Adidas. And they are so comfortable. Because I tried another pair of shoes on and they were deeply uncomfortable. I tried many shoes on, but whatever. And then I went to Trader Joe's and I got all the stuff to make my little couscous salad. And then I went to the gym and I paid for a day pass and I worked out and I moved my body. And then I came home and I just did the things. I just did the things that made me feel good, that I knew instinctively were going to be good for that day, instead of talking myself in and out of it and sitting around not doing anything. And I'm not perfect, okay? Last night did end in me scrolling for way too long. That's my biggest vice, is scrolling. I get stuck in it. It's so depressing. And it's like I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke, I don't, take gummies. Like, my vice that I use to numb is scrolling on social media. And that sucks. And I want that to change too. So that's a big part of, stepping into this next version of me. So, all that to say, like, I'm not a perfect person. Yesterday, I took all those steps to move me in the direction that I want to go. And then I also, one step forward, let's say 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because I did end up scrolling and going to bed way too late. So that's just like, the journey is just non-linear, and celebrating the wins that I had yesterday of going and doing those things, I think, is far more important than dwelling on what feels like a loss because I spent the evening scrolling. And I didn't only spend the evening scrolling, but it is how I ended my night, and I didn't like that. That feels like the end of this video. It doesn't really let's see. Is there anything else that I want to add to this? I think it just feels really good to like sit here and talk to you and just like update what's going on, and with that ease that I feel from ShowUp90 of like I don't have to perform. I don't have to be anything that I'm not. And right now, these past couple days have been really weird emotionally. Like I somehow feel numb, sad, and like so excited to be here all at the same time. And I'm kind of just like letting it be and not thinking too much about it and just going about my day anyway. When usually I would like start panicking about why I feel this way and then trying to fix why I feel this way. And in reality, it's just an emotional wave that needs to move through. And if there's something I need to know, if there's something that this emotional wave is trying to get me to understand or to make me aware of or bring to my attention, it will. It will. I trust that. But I think this is just processing a lot of stuff that has been coming up. And as I'm in this massive transition, July just feels like that kind of month. And I'm just trying to allow it to be what it is, to be kind to myself as I don't feel my best and yet at the same time feel better than I have in days. It's just such a weird feeling. But I'm excited to be doing ShowUp90. It's all on my TikTok right now. I think it's so funny, and I'm kind of loving the fact that like my views have been tanking since I did ShowUp90. Just because I'm like not playing by the rules right now. Like I started my video from today with like 5 seconds of silence because I didn't want to speak until I felt ready to speak. And then I like was like, well, I should cut out that silence so that people will actually watch it because they're just going to scroll away if there's silence. And I thought, if the goal of today is to show up as honestly as I possibly can, oh, that breeze feels so good. If the goal is to show up as authentically as I possibly can, that silence is part of that authenticity. And this work is for me. It's not for my followers. It's not for the people I'm trying to reach. It is because it's all going to lead towards creating content that's for those people. But right now, it's for me. And this comes back to where I started this video, which is doing ShowUp90 and the first module of it just being show up as yourself, dropping everything else, and knowing that I can trust and surrender to the structure that he's created and not try to make content that's going to, you know, get lots of views or convert or anything like that, but just create content that's going to bring me closer to who I really am on camera. Okay. That feels good. That feels like a good place to end. Wish me luck in the sweaty sauna that is New York City right now. I'm here for a month and a half. It's currently mid July, on the late end of mid July. And I'm gonna read my book now. Actually, I'm gonna go for a run because I think right now and for the next like hour there's a break in the rain. So I'm gonna use it to go for a run and then I'll journey back here and take a shower and zone out for the rest of the night. Read I'm rereading Fourth Wing because my friend has the whole series here. Um, and then there's a fourth book coming out soon. So, anyways, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for being here. And I love you. I really do. And you can do it too.